Hello everyone. Honestly, I just wanted to make this video because it feels like I am getting really good at making chili. Now I don't want that to sound arrogant, and it does feel ridiculous to say it out loud, but I make chili a lot, and the more you do something, the better you get at it. So all I wanted to do was share that with the world. Anyway, a few things I've learned about making chili. First thing, if you're going to use mushrooms, and this applies really to cooking with mushrooms in general, but if you're going to use mushrooms, cook them first, make them the very first ingredient that you put in, and don't add any oil. That's the key thing. So when you're cooking mushrooms, you just need to slice them up, chop them up however you like it, and cook them dry. And you will get a little bit of fluid that starts to come out of those as they heat up. They dehydrate, so you'll get some water coming off them, and you can start to cook the mushrooms just in that liquid. In fact, you can actually make your whole chili without using any oil at all. That's really up to you. Sometimes I do. Recently I haven't been because, well, I've just run out, and I do that Amazon subscribe and save to a lot of my staples. I think I had a 5 litre bottle of olive oil that ran out a few weeks before my next delivery was due, so I've just been making do without. And olive oil, you've probably noticed, has got pretty expensive recently. It is in the UK anyway, and I believe in Europe generally. And I believe climate change is a factor there in terms of crop production and I guess how many olives are growing on the trees that they can use for making oil. I don't know that for a fact. I feel like I've read it somewhere. It may not be true, but it wouldn't surprise me if it were. So maybe just don't buy olive oil. Find alternatives or do without it. Anyway, if I was using oil, I would start by frying the onions as well. I'd cook the mushrooms first, and as before, as I said, just let them cook kind of in their own juices, and then now the pan's nice and hot, I'd probably add some oil, let that heat up, and then add the chopped onions, saute them for a little bit, just get more juices flowing, and then you add your spices. So the three key things, I think the key spices that I use are cumin, cayenne pepper, and chili powder, of course. Cayenne pepper is pretty strong stuff. I believe it has some positive heart benefits, used for preventing heart attacks even. I don't know if that's quite true. Once again, look it up, go down the rabbit hole, whatever you want. Cumin and chili powder. I might also use crushed chilies, things like that. What else? A bit of coriander, maybe. Turmeric is always good. Nice mild flavour to the turmeric, and anti-inflammatory benefits to that as well. If you're going to add turmeric, you need to be adding black pepper because that will help activate, I think it's the tannins or something like that in the turmeric that again have positive benefits for your heart and your blood and all that sort of stuff. So you just cook the onions and the mushrooms and any other kind of basic items that you've put in, maybe some garlic. Garlic, I can take it or leave it really. I mean, I love it. I love garlic, and again, very good for you, good for your heart, but haven't noticed much of a difference in terms of flavour once you've added all the spices in and you've got the tomatoes and the juices and the beans and everything else, but that's up to you again. So yeah, once you've got those spices cooking and melting away and mixing with your onions, you've got your base. I start to add my tin tomatoes, probably 1 tin of tomatoes to begin with. Give it a really good stir as it's heating up. all those herbs and spices blend in. Might add salt at this point as well, or a bit later on. Other dried herbs. I've got these are mixed dried herb salts that I make. Herbs from my allotment, and then I just crush them up with pestle and mortar with some sea salt. Another Amazon staple there. I get, I think, once a month, once every 2 months, something like that. Price of that is decent as well, and I have a whole collection of these. There's a few more. Great for Christmas presents, just taking to a friend's when you go for dinner, something like that, as a thank you, whatever. And of course they'll keep for a very long time, probably years. So, peppers is another good one. So this one has yellow peppers in it, a lot of yellow, 3 yellow peppers I think I added because I just subscribed to Oddbox, which was one of those wonky veg delivery services. That came the other day, and there were 3 yellow peppers in there, along with some green beans, which you can see in there. Those have all gone in, and then I use tinned beans for everything else. So kidney beans, obviously. There are some, I think, haricot beans in this one, I can't remember. I love black beans, they're great in this. Butter beans are good. Is it cannellini beans, black-eyed peas? Any beans really will do. Of course you can get them dried and cook them. It takes a long time to do that. It's not really something I've done very much or very successfully. Maybe I could though. Something else you could buy in bulk. And then rice. You might see rice mixed in with this as well. That's probably the last thing I add really. Once things are cooking away, and I do let them simmer for at least a good hour, maybe 2, once you've brought it to the boil, and then turn the heat down. I let it simmer on kind of a medium heat, 1 to 2 hours. Depending on how thick it is, you might want to add some rice in. Another thing you can use is lentils. Red lentils are great, and that will just help thicken the mixture up. You don't want it to be too runny. I really like to have it well cooked, you know, maybe 4 hours even, until the consistency is nice and sort of sticky and everything's holding together really nice, and it's more like a stew consistency than a soup, you know. This one's got chickpeas in it. You can use them as well, because I was a little bit low on more interesting types of beans, and that is it. Might want to taste it as you go along. You can add more cayenne pepper, chili powder, maybe crushed chilies, a bit more cumin if you want. Just adjust it to your own taste. Oh yeah, there are some chopped celery leaves in here as well that I got from the garden. I've been regrowing celery that I get from the supermarket. You can just grow it in water for a bit and then plant it out in the spring, and you'll get another few stalks of celery out of that. Funnily enough, made myself a Bloody Mary with celery from the garden. Fantastic. And what else? Oh yeah, spinach. I've got some spinach in my veg box as well from Oddbox. Chop that up, add that in. It's always good to add green leafy vegetables to anything. Fantastically good for you. So, hope you've learnt a few things from listening to me rabbit on about chili. Stay happy, stay vegan, buy Bitcoin.